Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I hope your day and your week are going well so far. You got a new day, which of course means a new MLB Player Prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. We've got a new day, a new MLB slate, and new opportunities to make some big-time money. Before we dive into today's video, though, guys, first, let's do a quick little recap of how we did last night. And if you guys can't tell by the thumbnail, we had a really solid night last night. 4-0 sweeperoonie on the graded picks that we had. Now, I did give out 5 picks yesterday originally. Unfortunately, the Rangers-White Sox games got postponed. So the Miguel Vargas under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs prop is still active. The only difference is we're going to move that into today's slate. So that pick will count toward today's record, not yesterday, because the game is now being played today. So it just makes sense that the pick would be graded in today's record. But of the 4 picks that did get graded yesterday, we went 4-0. That's a 4-0 sweep. Really solid performance from us there yesterday. That coming off a not-so-great day on Monday. If you did see my pinned comment yesterday, we did have to correct the record on Monday. We actually went 1-3 on Monday, not 2-2. The Yoshida prop that I thought I hit, it was the wrong game. It was a doubleheader. It was the wrong game that I had graded. I meant to give out the second game. This is not revisionist history where I'm like, oh, I meant to give you the game that actually hit. I meant to give you guys the second game of the doubleheader, and he did not hit it in the second game of the doubleheader. So that was 1-3 Monday, but we bounced back big time with a 4-0 day yesterday. I'm going to level with you guys here. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter video today. I'm a little under the weather. I have now worked 6 12-hour shifts in the last 7 days. Thus is the life of a restaurant owner when you're short-staffed. I have another 12-hour day ahead of me today, so a little not sick, but just kind of, I think, tired. So not going to have a longer video today. I have 2 new picks to share with you guys, and then, of course, we have the Miguel Vargas under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs prop from yesterday. So that's 3 props overall for today's slate, but 2 of them that are new that you haven't seen before. So I do apologize for that, guys. The props, I promise you, the data is still fantastic. I don't half-ass my picks, even though I'm a little under the weather and a little tired. Still very solid data, very solid picks. Again, just a little overworked, and then I made the stupid decision to go play soccer last night after working, and we had no subs. So played a full 60-minute game after working 12 hours, and needless to say, I'm feeling the effects of it. But before we dive into today's video, there's no way I can continue on without bringing out the cash crown, and that's right. We got to bring out the money gun. Let's go. You think I wasn't going to celebrate a sweep? Come on now, guys. You know me better than that. And you know what? To celebrate the sweep, let's do another giveaway, guys. Comment sweep down below, and one lucky commenter will be chosen for a $10 Amazon gift card. That's all you got to do. No ifs, ands, or buts. All you got to do is comment sweep, and you get a $10 Amazon gift card. One lucky commenter will receive a free $10 Amazon gift card. All right, guys, we've wasted enough time here. Let's get into today's picks. All right, guys, jumping right into the Outlier screen. Shout out to Outlier, the best sports betting tool in the market and the sponsor of today's video. Guys, if you want to make money in the sports betting landscape, you got to have the right tool by your side, and Outlier is the best that money can buy. It consolidates all the data that you need to make smart sports betting choices all in one place. It's easy to find and easy to use, most importantly. We have a link down below that gives you guys a 7-day free trial to check it out for yourself. Again, there's no risk involved the first 7 days. You go ahead, you try it. Even if you don't like it, which I'd be shocked if you didn't, you can cancel it with no cost at all. But guys, it's a worthy investment. You need to have the proper tools if you want to make money in this business. So one more time, guys, link down below, 7-day free trial. Shout out to Outlier for sponsoring today's video. All right, first prop of today's slate, guys, we have the Angels-Tigers game, 6:40 p.m. first pitch. We're going Anthony Rendon here, under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. You know how I like my plus money plays. We've been crushing the plus money plays lately as well. This is on BetMGM for plus 120 and DraftKings for plus 115. Anthony Rendon, pretty good data here. 8 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the under with an average of just 1 hits, runs, RBIs per game over his last 10 games. It's an 80% hit rate. You can go ahead and stretch that data as far as you'd like. It looks good across the board. Even the last 20 games, you see a 70% hit rate on the under for Rendon. 14 out of 20 games, he's cashed the under. That's an average of 1.25 hits, runs, RBIs per game. And in 2024 so far, a 68% hit rate on the under. Now, to be fair, he's only played 47 games this year, but in 32 out of 47 games, he's cashed the under, an average of just 1.4 hits, runs, RBIs per game. And honestly, if you look at the data, if it wasn't for that nice little run he had back in April, the rest of the season's been pretty bad for him. Good for us, of course, with this under prop. But besides that little streak he had there, where he had 7 cashes in a 10-day span, besides that, it hasn't been looking too great for Rendon. And if that data wasn't good enough for you guys, the head-to-head data, only 1 game, but he did cash it versus Detroit last night. He had just 1 hit, no runs, and no RBIs, and it was a 6-2 loss for the Angels. Looking down below, the insights provided by Outlier, Anthony Rendon has failed to exceed 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 9 of his last 11 games as a .9 hits, runs, RBIs per game average over that span. Anthony Rendon, 2024, 229 batting average overall. That number does drop to 221 versus right-handed pitchers, however. Looking at the matchup versus Mason Englert, not a ton of experience with this guy. Only 85 batters faced in total this year. The numbers at first glance may not look fantastic, but versus right-handed batters, and again, it's a small sample size, just 55 batters faced, a 240 batting average allowed. Look, I'm gonna level with you guys. It's not the best matchup of all time for Rendon, but he's been cashing this pretty consistently, this under, and it's not a terrible matchup. I mean, again, in 55 batters faced that were right-handed, 240 batting average allowed is actually not that bad for a young, inexperienced pitcher like Englert. So yeah, would I like a better pitching matchup? Sure, but for plus money, a guy who's been cashing his 68% hit rate this year, I'm willing to take the risk there. I still think it's a pretty decent matchup overall. All right, guys, and for the second prop of today's slate, we're moving on to the Mets-Diamondbacks game, 9:40 p.m. first pitch. We're going Harrison Bader of the New York Mets under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. We're getting that on DraftKings for -130, BetMGM for -130, and Prize Picks for -119. Harrison Bader, you see 9 of his last 10 games, he has cashed this under, an average of 0.5 hits, runs, RBIs per game. Again, another guy who's been cashing the under pretty consistently all year long. You go ahead and look at the last 20 game data, 65% hit rate, 13 of his last 20 games. He's cashed the under with an average of 1.1 hits, runs, RBIs per game. He did have a little bit of a good streak there at the beginning of August. You see he had it in 5 consecutive games there, but since then, it's been a pretty steady drop-off for him. And so far in 2024, a 61% hit rate on this under. Now, this is not like Anthony Rendon. We have a pretty large sample size here. 67 out of 110 games this year, Harrison Bader has cashed the under with an average of 1.61 HRRs per game. So for the majority of the year, he's been cashing this under. And the head-to-head data is pretty solid, too. You see 4 of his last 5 meetings with the Diamondbacks, all taking place this season, by the way. He has cashed the under with an average of just 0.6 hits, runs, RBIs per game. The only game this year he cashed the over was back on June 1st, where he had 1 run, 1 hit, no RBIs, and what was a 10-5 win for Arizona. Looking down below at the insights provided by Outlier, Harrison Bader has failed to exceed 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 10 of his last 11 games. Again, it's an average of 0.5 hits, runs, RBIs per game over that 11-game span. We have the matchup versus Eduardo Rodriguez tonight. 3 plate appearances for Harrison Bader versus Rodriguez since 2018, and he's got nothing. No hits off of Rodriguez since 2018. You do see the 667 OBP, so he has gotten on base a couple times, but no hits off of him, so that's a plus there. And looking at Harrison Bader's numbers this year, 251 overall, but versus left-handed pitchers, that number drops to 195. He's really struggled to hit off of left-handed pitchers this year. Now, looking for the data for Eduardo Rodriguez, it's not a ton. He's only had a couple of games back this year returning from injury, so there's not a lot to go off of now. 68 batters faced overall, 55 versus right-handed batters. You do see the data is not fantastic. 5.25 ERA and a 3.14 batting average allowed versus right-handed batters. I'm going to excuse the data. I know you can criticize me for doing this. I'm going to excuse the data because Eduardo Rodriguez is a really solid pitcher overall. I do think that, it takes a little bit of time. He's coming back middle of the year, only a couple games back. It takes a little bit to get back in your rhythm. Overall, I mean, he's a 2-0 record so far this year, 3.94 ERA overall. And yeah, his numbers versus right-handed batters are not fantastic, but I do think for the most part, he's still got it. And I just think it's about shaking that rust off. I think it's a really good matchup here. I think Harrison Bader, he's struggling off of lefties as it is. I don't think Eduardo Rodriguez is going to struggle pitching to Harrison Bader. He's never given up a hit off of him in the last 5 years. Again, it's a very small sample size, only 3 plate appearances, but I do think the matchup is really solid. Again, this is a guy who's cashed the under at a 61% clip this season. So overall, really solid prop for -130 odds. It's great value too. So like I said, guys, apologies. I know some people are going to be pretty upset at the fact that this is a pretty short video, not a lot of picks. But that is it for today's picks, honestly. Now we do have 3. It shows 2 picks here. We do have 3 picks overall. Again, we have the Miguel Vargas prop from yesterday's slate that does carry over into today. Unfortunately, because it's from yesterday, Outlier does not show the prop in here, but it's Miguel Vargas under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Now, you can go back to yesterday's video to rewatch it if you want more of an in-depth breakdown of why I like the prop. But for a quick recap to those who A, don't want to go to yesterday's video, and B, just don't really want to do all the extra work, the data was really solid. 9 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the under, and a 77% hit rate this year. He's really struggled since being traded from the Dodgers to the White Sox. So it was a really fantastic data. The matchup was absolutely killer. Again, if you want a more in-depth look, you can go back and watch yesterday's video. Just fast forward to the Miguel Vargas prop. That prop starts approximately around the 10-minute, 45-second mark of yesterday's video, so just to help you guys get there a little bit quicker, around 10 minutes, 45 seconds is where I start going into the Miguel Vargas prop. So those are all 3 picks from today's slate. Quick little recap. Anthony Rendon under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Harrison Bader under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. And Miguel Vargas under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. We have 3 straight unders, all hits, runs, RBIs. I'm feeling pretty good about today's slate. So, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. To the new subscribers, to the new viewers here, I promise you guys, we give out a lot more picks than this, and usually we're a little more high energy than we are today. Again, just a little under the weather, feeling a little like I got hit by a train last night. Between working and sports and everything else. So, apologies for that, but we will be back tomorrow, and I promise tomorrow we will have more than just 3 picks. But until then, guys, I hope you're all winners. I hope we're all winners. Have a fantastic Wednesday.